Hello, you. It's me. And I purposefully chose this picture because I think Dee Dee looks super cute in it. And she deserves to always look good. And here she just looks like a nice person and a caring mother. And for the most part, I think that's what she was. And she still could have been, if it wasn't for 10 years ago when her daughter, Gypsy Rose, decided she just couldn't take her mother anymore. And with the aid of a mentally challenged man, offed her mom. And today is the last day of her parole. And she will be free. And I can't tell you how unjust the justice system can be. Now, I'm not saying that Nick did nothing. I don't know. I don't think he created the final blow that ended the life of Dee Dee. But I think with the aid of Gypsy, he did make some blows to her. I have this vision in my head of him walking over to Dee Dee's bed and Gypsy taking her hand over his hand while he was holding the knife and did the deed. I feel like she is, well, we already know she's very volatile and has a terrible temper. But I feel like in order to ensure that he would take the blame, she put her hand over his and did the deed. Now, of course, this is all from my brain. This is all my thoughts, my feelings, not facts. But that's what I feel. I feel she literally guided him through the whole thing. And I believe that Dee Dee had already passed on or was passing on while they did it. But he didn't know that or understand that. I think Nick really thought he was saving her life. He was being the hero. And now, for that, he gets life without parole in prison. And Gypsy will be free. And it makes me ill. Because Gypsy does not take accountability. Gypsy, she acts as if Nick did everything and all she did was sit there saying, no, 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 don't do it, don't do it. And he did it anyway. That's not what happened. Nick wanted to run away and she didn't. She wanted the crime to happen. And we've all, or at least most of us, have heard and seen the video where she's taking video of Nick and talking about the brownies and that she's next. Giggle, giggle, tee-hee, tee-hee. Yeah, she was really sorry for what happened. She was on a freaking high. She was on a high right after the death of her mother. A death she caused. She was on a high. And this is what's most disturbing. Because you can see she's on a high when all these creators are getting bullied by her minions. And they are. Now, I have heard whispers that some of these creators are doing something. But they won't say what. But I will say for me, any creator who's getting harassed by Gypsy and her minions need to contact the police. They need to contact the authorities and catch her and her minions in the act, which is very easy because it's all out there, unless suddenly they hide everything. But Gypsy seems to be proud of all these things that are happening in her name. So I don't know if she'd want to hide them. her minions should be hiding it, because they're the ones who are going to get in trouble. And I don't know if they understand that. But people have gone to prison for doxing and harassing other people online. Just saying. It happens. You know, is it an easy thing to have happen? No, but it's getting easier because the authorities are catching on. They know how to trace this stuff. They will trace it back to Gypsy and her minions. And that could be Gypsy's downfall. Having federal charges against her and possibly getting Nick a proper trial. Like, I understand. I don't understand everything involved with Nick. I know what he claimed to have done. I still think that she had a much bigger hand in it. That's my opinion. That's my thoughts, not facts. At least not facts yet. But he has been in prison now for 10 years. And I think maybe 35 to life would make more sense. Because in 35 years, which is another 25, he would have the possibility of parole. Is that the best thing? I don't know. But Nick was involved, and he does need to serve his time for that. As much as I don't like it, no one else does because of the coercion. Nick couldn't help that because he does have autism, which is so sad. But having him spend life in prison while she's free tomorrow doesn't seem right. I hope there's a federal case that is put against her. I hope that she finally serves the time that she should have all along, which is life without parole. Because right now, with her being off parole, that means no one's watching her anymore. That means that she could harm Ken. She could harm Aurora the baby. I think she's already harmed family members, not in a physical way, but in other ways. And like I said before with Christy's live, she sounded like she was kind of fed up with Gypsy. I think the whole family will be happy when Gypsy moves out. Unfortunately, I don't know how Ken's going to feel about that, but that's where she plans on going. I think that once she moves in with Ken, and this is just my thoughts, my opinions, not facts, I don't think Ken will be able to put up with her for very long. Because Ken has really allowed her to get away with a lot under his relationship with her. And he seems to make up a lot of excuses. He doesn't necessarily believe that she was in charge of what happened to her mother. I think he believes that Nick was. But you can see the strain on him. And I am so genuinely concerned for his life and for baby Aurora's life. Because you pissed Gypsy off. She obviously has no trouble offing you. She did it to her mother. She, quote unquote, put up with her mother for just so long and then couldn't stand it anymore and got another person to help her off her. And she's not sorry for it. Not in the slightest bit. She's not sorry. So what makes Christy or Rod or Mia or Dylan, her brother, Dylan seems to have stayed away from it completely. But what about the other three? What makes them think that she won't come after them? Because it is my belief from everything that Gypsy has said when she describes that night, and you can see in the text messages with Nick, she said that she made up with her mother and everything's all right, and he thought that meant that he wasn't going to come over and do anything, no crimes. But my feeling is what she did is she played really nice with her mother, gave her a hug. Oh, I love you, mommy. And, did all that and then attacked her. That's what I believe. I believe, again, not facts, just what I think from all the things that she has said, that her mother thought, oh, everything was lovely, huggies, kisses, oh, good night, sweetheart, my little princess, whatever. And then Gypsy turned around and just offed her. Just like that. Turned around on a dime, because it was all fake, it was all phony, it was all manipulation. And that's what she did to her mother, in my opinion. Again, not facts, just opinions and thoughts. Who's to say she wouldn't do that with Christy or Rod or Mia, who she absolutely, not just jealous, she doesn't like Mia, in my opinion, because Mia has everything that she wants. Gypsy can't get those things because Gypsy isn't a genuine person. Everything that she does is to try to prove that she's just a regular person, but she's not. The singing to a vacuum cleaner thing, that was to prove, oh, she's so quirky and just like all of us, but she's not. Her with the baby poop thing, or talking about farts. Oh, she's so quirky, she's just like we are, but she's not. It's all made up. It's all fabricated. Everything that we see is fake and phony, so that she can show the world, oh, look at me, I'm just a normal girl, just like you. First of all, you're not a girl, you're a woman. Okay? You're 34. That's not a girl. And I know that's semantics, because there's times where, I'll call myself a girly girl, that kind of thing. But in Gypsy's case, I think she really thinks that she is a girl, like a teenager. Her mentality doesn't go beyond teenage level, in my opinion. Again, my thoughts, not facts. But I'm only speaking from what I've seen through her accounts, her various accounts. This is what I see. She's trying so hard to look like a normal, quirky girl instead of who she really is. Everything is about how it looks, not how it is. We see this time and time again. Now, are the authorities paying attention? We don't know. I like to think that they are, and that they're going to jump on her at the right moment. But I don't know, because the authorities, her PO officer, for example, isn't taking charge and jumping on all the little infractions that she's done that should have put her back in prison. Maybe they're playing the waiting game. I don't know. But I haven't seen any posts today about her last day of parole. Not that I've seen. I don't know if she's going to post tomorrow. My guess is she's going to be posting in the next couple days, showing her partying and having a great time and having her first alcoholic drink, which we know that's bullshit too. She's going to do it all. She's going to let it all hang out. And that could be her downfall. But we're just going to have to wait and see. I would like to think that the authorities are good enough to have a whole lot of things under wraps that they are going to get her on after her parole is over. I can only hope. I don't know. She seems to always get right under the radar and never really gets charged with anything, never really has to do anything, including feel bad for what she did. No remorse at all. And the fact that she's saying things like, oh, that was so 10 years ago, shows you her mindset. So what's going to happen next? I want to say it would be interesting to find out, and I try to keep it on a surface level without going too deep. But how many more people is she going to hurt And I'm not even talking Nick or his mother Stephanie or Dee Dee or Nick's father even, or his brother. I'm not even talking about those people. I'm talking about all the creators that she and her minions have harassed, have doxxed, have harassing calls to their home, to their phone, all the time. How many more people are going to have to suffer through that before something is done? That's what I'm concerned, because we know she'll go the next step. We know she'll stalk people because she already did. We know that she harasses people because she and her minions already have. When are they going to start really hurting people? Get them fired from their jobs. Oh, wait a minute. Already done that. But when are they going to start really physically hurting? Because I have a feeling there could be next steps. Gypsy is capable. We can't say she's not, because she's already done it. She's already murdered her own mother. What would stop her from hurting somebody else that she's not close to, that she sees no value in and doesn't care about? She's a dangerous person. There's a lot of dangerous people in this world, but this one, just this one, has done enough to have her in prison for the rest of her life, and she's not. That's concerning. And she needs to be looked after and watched out, which is what her mother was trying to do all along, in my opinion. My thoughts, not necessarily facts. Dee Dee tried hard to protect the world from Gypsy. And, Gypsy from the world, maybe. But Gypsy's the danger. She's the one who's dangerous and can turn on a dime to anyone. Doesn't matter who you are. You could be her boyfriend, her husband. Well, we see what she did with Ryan. You could be a parent. You could be a sibling, an aunt and uncle. It doesn't matter. A best friend. We've seen her turn on friends. She doesn't value anybody's life but her own. And that's what we need to be careful of. So if you are a creator who has been harassed or is being harassed currently, talking to Christy isn't going to stop it. Talking to the police might. And you need that paper trail, because if it starts to ramp up further and further, she's showing up at your home, she's getting you fired from your job, you need to have that paper trail to prove that it's continuing and getting worse, so that the police can actually do something about it. And police will be forced to do something about it if enough people have evidence of her and her minions doing it. They have to pay attention to that, don't they? At some point, I get that they get a lot of phone calls about Gypsy Rose now, and they probably just, another prank call, another prank call. But when she's off parole and they're still getting these phone calls, maybe they'll listen. Get every bit of evidence together that you can. Take pictures, make recordings, everything that you can to prove that they are harassing you, that Gypsy is harassing you. She is the kingpin. It's not Bree. It's not any of the other minions. It's Gypsy. None of those ladies would be doing anything unless Gypsy told them to. Just like Nick. Maybe what we should be doing is getting all this evidence together and sending it to the FBI. Get the feds involved. I don't know. I know this is just one bad person and a world full of bad people. But we see through what she's done. We see her lies. We know that she is the primary in charge person. That's not a good way to say that, but I couldn't think of another word. She is the one who's created all this chaos, and she should not be free. But, once again, we're going to have to wait and see. I hope that at some point justice will prevail. I think most of the time it does, not all. Most of the time it does. It just takes longer than we'd like it to. But I hope in this case, she gets where she needs to go. And that's back to prison for life. But we'll just have to wait and see. But she is dangerous, and I want everybody out there to be aware. She is very dangerous. She will take it all the way. That's what makes her dangerous. Anyway, take care of yourselves out there. Thank you for listening. And for now, anyway, that's all I got to say.